Hi everyone, this is Abrar. Welcome to Abrar Knowledge channel. Today we are talking about a lean tool called 5S. We are going to go over in detail what is 5S and in detail coverage and how we can implement it. More importantly, that we are going to discuss. So just to give you a eagle view, broader view of what is 5S. 5S focuses on the effective workplace, how we can make the workplace better, how we can make the workplace in more efficient in approaching and taking things, and that's something the core objective of 5S. And 5S also called 6x. Now there is 1S is incremented, that is called safety. It comes from the concept called lean methodology. So why do we need a 5S? Because it simplifies your work environment, it reduces the wastages, because the lean core concept is to reduce the wastages. The wastages called team mood, you might have heard. uh, you know uh, you know there are seven team modes are there. I mean, there are seven wastages are there. One is called transportation, inventory, motions, waiting, or process, overproduction, and defects. So even if the things are not kept in place in a order, that is also called as waste. That we are going to talk about it. Non-value added, meaning like customer is not paying to it and is not getting benefited to the customer. And what is the application? That's very important. The application is wide, vast. It can be used in any industry. It can be used in manufacturing industry, or it can be used in service industry, police station. You take hospitals, you can take any even BPO, call center, or remote locations. Anything we can use fires. We can also use for medical, where we can identify, we can have a uh, appropriate disposal method and all that. And also it can be used for aerospace and so on and so forth. So I have taken the material, my material, it's going to be very rich. Why I use this material is going to be very rich is because I have taken from three sources. One, lean Six Sigma Academy, and color code I have taken from the color code Six Sigma, and quality support services in corporation. So the material is going to be very interesting. Please stay tuned till the end to get to know the in and out about fires. I'm sure at the end of this video you will you will endorse me that this is completely covered end to end. Yeah. So you, just to give you background. So 5 years or 6 years. 5 years, first is sort. The second is set in order. The third yes is shine. Fourth is standardization. Fifth is sustain, and we have something called safety also as well. This is the 6x full background. It start from start and ends from safety or sustain. So I'm going to give you what I'm going to give you the upcoming slide, where each thought, I mean each yes, we have a dedicated slide where you will get to learn much things. So before we go and mull over on all of these things, so let's understand that, let's say this is the treasure hunt, and what 5 years concept applies is, how we can take this treasure hunt easily, instead of not hunting and all that, how we can easily, in a simplified, affection, in a very a very efficient way or effective way, we can pull that treasure. That's what the theme, a recurring precursor point about fires. How we can make the place clean, neat, identified, so that it will be easy to access things. And this is very important. What is in scope and what is not in scope. So 5 years is all, as we said, the part of the lean thinking, and it is value versus waste. Like whatever the value add, we lean is focused to bring those value adds, and it reduce something called wastages that we talked about Tim Wood. And this is the second point is simple, very practical. Simple, why use the word simple? Because in every cases we can use, even day-to-day life we can use this example. Reduce pressure hunt. So for example, you don't need to hunt anything, so it can be easily identifiable. Investment with a payback. So we, even if you do this project in your organization, you will definitely will have a return of investment. A good fit with the craft, and we can do a slice and dice, and we can probably use this one to help the flow the work. There is something called, you might have heard that actually the lean concept, it is like you actually, like instead of going zigzag, and if you're going a long distance, even the transportation, you have a motion. Even motions also a waste, one of the waste stages. So FIS tries to, the whole lean core idea is to reduce that as such, to eliminate that wastages. So 5 years is not mandatory. It's not coming from the requirement from the ISO or any of the mandatory one. Practical sports is meaning like if you wanted to adopt, you can adopt. You can the benefit is more. The carrot or stick, and one time thing, meaning like when you set up one time, so always you need to monitor, and it is like one time activity or one time project. It takes less effort, more result. Limited to craft and just about being neat and clean. That's all about 5s. Yeah. So let's talk about where does that 5s fit in the lean concept. So we have something called value. In value added, there is and non-value added. There are three terms are available. I don't want to go in very technically, but quickly I will give that scramble of those words. Value added meaning like anything customer pays for it, and you do it right at the first time, and it adds value to your process. All these called value added. Non-value added is the flip side of value added, meaning it doesn't, customer doesn't pay for it, and anything rejection, scrap, all of these fit in non-value. Value enables something which is part and parcel of regulatory requirement. That is something called this one. So in this entire lean, you will be trying to see which are all the non-value added, how we can remove those things. Yeah. So 5 years, if you use 5 years, you can also use for three things. One is called the value stream flow, pull, push, and all that we can talk about. I think I will make one more, yet another video to discuss more on that inventory management part. The last planner and moderations, and it is always like a continual or continuous improvement process. It is always like not like one time. You might need to, when it comes to 5 years, you might need to do it one time, but the result is going to be long. Since the result is going to be for long, actually you have to monitor and improve the process. So let's talk about an example of first S called sort. Sorting word is, that no, sorting meaning like sort out the necessary from the unnecessary thing, or discard the unnecessary thing, or move it anything which is not used. That's called sorting out. You have a good product, you have a bad product. Any bad product, need to get rid of it. You have good apples, you have bad apples. The bad apples should be separated out or should be quarantined. Why? Because that bad apple should not influence on good apple and make the entire, it may be proportionally, all these apples might get decay or it get spoiled, right? So that's the core view. How to sort? To sort, there is something called red tag. Red tag meaning like, for example, anything which you are rarely use it, that means you can give one color, maybe strong green or something that you can give. Occasionally you use it like 1 to 2 months, and you frequently base, you can devise it. You can have it like yearly, you can have a monthly, you can have a weekly, all up to your thing. You can slice and dice those things, but have a frequency also as well. Yeah. So then, so how you will, okay, first thing we talked about the frequency. Okay, red tag. So I will give dark green, light green, and orange color. Okay, and that's first thing, sort out something. These are all the thing I'm using it very rarely. I'm going to sort out. The next thing is how I'm going to have a disposal, because disposal, as far as a manufacturing company is concerned, is very big thing. So, and also we should have a disposal also as well. So take a quick look. Actually, this is a bad example of fires. I mean, sort. So here many things are there, and many things which is rejected parts are available in the same place, and all this. Sort meaning like have everything, sort out everything what is not essential and get rid of them. In the theme is when in doubt, move it out. So even this one, actually, you can see here the papers are flung around, and all these the places are not kept neat. So we can also see anything like which is whatever the things not essential, get rid of it. The best example is the practice. When you go to the gym, and why you go to the gym, because you wanted to get rid of the unnecessary toxin or unnecessary cholesterol and all that, right? So you wanted to make it thin and lean. That's called the lean principle. So sort also applies the same thing. So sorting meaning like starting practice, you wanted to lean and you wanted to reduce weight by 2 kgs in 1 month. So you will just go to the gym and have it do that. So that is called sort meaning like get rid of. If you don't need anything, please get rid of. The second S is called set in order. Set in order, another word is simplifying, meaning like for everything there is a place, we need to keep in that place. Create and identify place everything to maximize the effectiveness and safety. For example, so in this one, you can just, okay, these are all this one, I'm going to keep it. These are all this first aid, I'm going to keep it here. There is something called green plus mark. So this is the urgent file, I'm going to keep it here. The low urgent file, I can keep it in some other places. And all these set in order. For everything, there is a place, we need to keep it. For example, you have a 3 wall, you have 4 wall, you have all of these things, right? So we can just have this something called, we can just have a sticker in such a way that you can easily identifiable. So let's go back here. Simplifying is creating a designated and marked place for everything according to the frequency of use. Why frequency of use? For example, some first aid is we need to do access it in emergency case, so we have to keep it in the front, right? So for example, some file we are not using it for long, once in a year, once in 3 months, once in audit we use it, then we can keep it separately, those things. So it, what is the advantage? The goal is at item use most often are within easy access, thus reducing the time to find something almost zero. Anyone, even someone who doesn't work in the area, could put everything back to where it belongs to. For example, I took one spanner there, I have to put it back in the same place. How I can do it? Because with the identification, the way things are marked make it obvious which thing belong, where things belong, sorry. So this is one example of set in order. For example, for everything there is a place, we need to keep in the place, and I have identification. So there is also something called Kanban system. For example, first in first order you can do. You can also identify, especially in the chemical industry, it will be very useful. For example, the old you have araldite resin, you have a 2 tins of resin, 2 lot of resin. One is which came in, which is going to get expired in December. One is going to expire in next month, very next month, September. That means you have to keep it those things the first and followed by the December. So we can also do all of these arrangement within it. So there is 3S. Third S is shine or sweeping. Shine is physically and visual control of the area. So to make it dust free, and it should be very neat. So cleaning is inspection is and identifies a problem which you aren't aware of, and help prevent the future failures and avoid treasure hunt and promote the good maintenance practices. So take an example of this. So in this one, you can see one example here. In this one, this is something like a metal part which attracts the dust, and it sticks the dust there in it. So it doesn't attract here. So we can also have the we can talk about the preventive one. Before the problem occurs, we can go and make it neat and make it clean. Yeah, so this is called poka yoke. Poka yoke meaning like error free, like so before the error happens, we can just arrest it. Why after having the error, why we need to go ahead and fix it? So third, I mean, the last example of this one is like again tag you can do, and you can just make sure that where the cleaning items are available, how it can be cleaned. So now sort, set in order, shine we talked about. Standardization meaning like all we need to put this in document. So it's creating a standard base to keep the work area organized, clean, and orderly, and document agreement made during the 5 years. Make up the rules and follow them. Make it obvious by visual techniques. So for example, let's say these are all the color I'm going to use. For example, safety. You saw that the safety first aid, there is a plus mark, green plus mark. Anything equipment, this is a color. Standard and defects and total process management and drags and storage and all. These color are not coming from the standard. You can also tweak based on the frequency, based on the what color you have and all that. But more importantly, the bottom line is we need to keep identifying it. That's the key things we need to do in the standardization. The standardization not only limited to documenting, but also like create a 5 years to try to perform the cleanup order activity in efficient as possible. Work to prevent the chaos from the coming back by making it hard to put things back in the wrong place, and everything documented like stickers, documentations, and the guidelines, everything can have. So standardization. The last, I mean, the 5 years, fifth years is sustain. So anything, everything you do, sustain it throughout the places we need to have. For example, not only in the workplace, I mean, in the production floor, not in the design floor, not in the, so every places we need to have the same techniques and rules, and also the term also should be, you should, for example, let's say you have two center, one in Chennai, one in Pune. That means for two center, we need to use the same color head. For anything green, is recognize the safety and so on. So here you can see it's neatly organized. Even for medical also can be used, and also sustain. Actually, how we can sustain, because anything to be sustained, we need to measure, right? We can give a we can give a scoring, and we can give a measure which line, what is the product, what is the scoring. We can give like 5 rating or 10 rating, and then we can just 10 scale, and then you can start giving the score also. Safety again, you can also report like any near miss or anything which happened, accident happened or near miss, you can report it. So you can make it obvious by visual techniques. So every time we need to go and discuss about any near miss happen, how it can be prevented, or any potential safety risk we have or hazard we have, how many chemical we are using it, all the explosive chemical where the where how it is being kept, with how the disposal methods of those things, all these we can figure it out. So that's the entire 6S we talked about. First, set in order. Second, we talked about, first we talked about sort. Second is set in order. Third is shine. Fourth is standardization. Fifth, we talked about sustain. Sixth is safety. How to start? That's a good question. From the implementation part. So decide and what to keep in a sort, and do simplification, that is set in order. Define the sweeping process, that is cleaning. Take break, take before and after picture as such. So the causes of 5 years not being sustained, why? Because not understanding what is why 5 years is required. No leadership commitment, or no system or self evaluation. So there is something called 20-60-20 rule that critically against virtually everything. So have a checklist, like self checklist. That means every day they can have a check, like, okay, these are all 5 items I need to check in my desk. Okay, this I check. So also we can use it for file management, workplace, or soft 5 years or hard 5 years. We can use it for anything. Have a self checklist, as well as the auditor can come and conduct an internal audit on the 5 years. So I'm going to quickly give an example. This is the best example. Take an example of in this lockdown time. I hope like you might have familiarized. We are all familiarized with this chicken. I mean, with some kitchen kitchen item where it is kept and how it can be cooked and all that. We might have learned it, and I'm sure that you might also have learned something about it. So even that 5 years. So if you bring that 5 years to home, what the result will be? The workplace will be fantastic. and we will be able to recognize any things quickly and easily. So let me just quickly summarize, and it brings the high quality, it brings the high availability, it creates so much space, and because you're sorting out, we are getting rid of anything which is not required, and then you're simplifying it, set in order for everything, you're allocating the place, and you're making sure that your place is swept and clean. And standardization, you put everything in the document, and self discipline is something sustain, and safety go along with this. So the conclusion I would like to make is the 5S or 6X lean. It comes from the lean concept. First is sort, set in order, shine, standardization, sustain, and you have safety. We also talked about how example of each yes, and how to implement. Please have the checklist, and please explain that why do we need that 5S or 6S, and get the management support, and then you can easily implement it. Have a checklist. So that's it from my side. And if you do need any material of this one, you can contact to me by this number 814-892-8828. If you wanted to catch me in the LinkedIn or Facebook, this is my LinkedIn, linkedin.com in Abrar Knowledge 1, Facebook Abrar Ahmed H, and YouTube is Abrar Knowledge. Please do like, share, and subscribe my channel. You have a nice day ahead.